I'm really excited because this term culture 20 years ago seemed like a squishy woo-woo part of the world. It isn't anymore. It is something
Yeah.
that, I mean, in terms of I heard a staggering statistic. 88% of all job applicants will see if they can identify or understand what your culture is before they even put an application in. Why
Mm.
is that? Why is that, girl? And why does that matter? Cultures matter so much today.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's talk about a simple definition of culture. I think there's a simple definition, there's a little bit more complex definition, but the simple one is people feel when they come to work, right? And if the majority of the people who come to work feel really good about working there, then you probably have a healthy culture. And if the majority of people feel really bad about coming to work there, then you probably have an unhealthy culture. So the reason that it's important is culture has all of these tentacles that go out to employee engagement, to satisfaction, to that's going to leak into customer engagement and satisfaction. It's going to be a great recruiting tool for you. It's going to be what, when people go home and they talk about their job, what their families hear is going to be about the culture that you've set up. So your culture is important because it truly influences everything within your business, including the marketing, not only to your customers, but also to your potential employees.
So, something that I had a conversation with someone about is these blurred lines between work and home, right? The baggage, I'll be the first to admit that my wife and I sometimes don't necessarily 100% eye to eye. It's happened before.
What? That never happens in marriage.
And that may float over into those emotions, that baggage or whatever, however I'm feeling, that may float over into the workday. But whatever happens in the workday also floats into home.
Yep.
And I think what I'm hearing a little bit from you here is that culture, if they come into work and they're feeling good about things, they feel valued, they feel a sense of purpose, right? They're going to go home and talk about that, right? Their kids are going to see that. Their families, their friends are all going to see that. And they're going to start to talk about that. That's going to almost self-validate itself. And they're going to want to come back to work again, right? So this cross-pollination of home and work,
Yeah.
setting up the right culture has kind of
Yeah.
this long tail on it, right?
Yeah. And to your point, Vinay, the when you go home and you love your job, and you are more engaged in life in general, you're happier in general, you take that into the home. So it's not just that people are seeing it, but their lives are better, your family's life is better, your friends' lives are better when you're working in a healthy culture.
There's a saying sometimes I surprise myself with things that I say. One, one of those things that I've been using for a long time in managing teams and managing companies and things is, I can pay for people's minds, but if I get their hearts, I win.
Yeah.
And that's what culture is all about, because, the idea is, squeezing blood out of a stone kind of thing. Gosh, if you have people that have got their heart in the role, you get more out of it, not because you have to push them, but because they want to. Is that right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. You win their hearts and you've won the game. And that's why there are so few companies right now where people are going into it and going, I love the place that I work. I love my job. We might even like our coworkers, but I mean, Gallup's telling us that 86% of people are either disengaged or highly disengaged at work. So we're not winning the hearts of our people. And a big reason for that is we're not intentionally creating the culture where we attract the types of people who want to work there.
So this is a really interesting number, 86%. I always like to try to distill these things into things that can be sort of a take-home message. And someone gave me a great way to measure, to put it into dollars and cents. He said, for every $100,000 that you're putting in payroll, if you take a look at this 86% number, you're basically saying for every $86,000, I'm throwing 86% of that almost down the drain. Is
Mm.
that a fair way to look at that?
That's a sobering, but I would say fair way to look at that.